Good morning, Potters.
Good morning, y'all. I'm
I'm Jay.
and today on my little plot, we are going to be documenting the Making Brooklyn Bloom conference for community gardeners.
Yeah.
And our youth are here. They don't want to be on camera, but still, I'm going to show them. Bye, y'all. Stay tuned.
Peace.
Where's Donnie? Stop being shy. Say hi. You're going to be like,
You not know Joshua Dobbs, bro?
I know. I'm like, what are we going to do?
So do we just get the 3 p.m. one?
Yeah.
My lord, 3 p.m.
I feel like people are just going to be going into workshops.
3 p.m.
To
what?
go on
All of
workshops.
them are full.
Yeah, but I think people are just gonna go to them, like, and sit, stand. Yeah, it's crazy.
So just sign up for what is available.
Or mark where the one that you want to go to, and see if you could get there early.
Is it mandatory to do a workshop in the afternoon?
Huh?
Is it mandatory to see a workshop in the afternoon?
No, you don't have to, but we're leaving at the 2:30. I think that's the last workshop.
Oh, so don't sign up for the 3 p.m.
No, don't do the 3 p.m. Definitely don't. Y'all not interested in this one, right? No, the 3 p.m. Wait.
Anyone wishing to roast the keynote will no longer have room. It will be at 12:30. Anyone Oh well.
All right, they're all 3 p.m. They're all 3 p.m. Let's just walk around and see who's here. Y'all want a name tag? Want a name tag?
Oh, yeah.
We're not doing 3 p.m. You want to go at
All at 3 is like crazy.
Who threw a donut in the...
Not beer.
Ooh. Can you write me one too, please? Just put I. I like you. Thank you.
Yes, it's on the same hole.
Hey, Ray. You know, the crazy thing is, I was just talking about this to a funder at Green Gorillas, saying that there needs to be more education around this. So perfect.
And so here's the chart where we,
Perfect.
this project started out of Pratt. It was my project, but it, as
Yeah.
you well know, it got, successfully voted
I'm
on.
happy.
And so we're still working with this. The governor blocked it.
Veto the bill.
Right, but because it was voted on unanimously
Yes.
in both houses,
Yeah.
and we have support from gardeners out in Buffalo and Western New York, from all over the state, we're looking at how we develop, build on that success to revisit this. Also, you're going to hear about something very soon relating to composting in terms of legislation. From a legislative perspective. That's what we're working on. That's what we do at the coalition.
With Nurse, like Councilmember Nurse, who?
Yes. Well, we were just having a meeting. She's no longer the chair, right? But she's an expert. So, Abreu is now the chair of that committee. But, we're looking to see, let's see how we can have a conversation, because we'd love to coordinate a meeting with Abreu of Community Gardeners.
Yeah.
And then still interested in talking with Krishnan. I've actually have had a couple of conversations, and he's on board with talking with us, Community Gardeners.
We got it.
How are you?
So my name is Dantes. I work at Eastern Farm. So Eastern Farm is a non-profit organization led by the youth. They are paid. So the youth helps us with our farmers market. They run our farmers market a little bit more. They learn about agriculture. We take the youth out on trips. So this is like a yearbook that we done. So yeah, this is from last year. So this is something we did. Then our youth also made like cooking books of how to cook with the vegetables and organic stuff.
Nice.
And yeah,
This is so sweet. Look at you. Girl.
Sorry I missed y'all last week. I overslept.
Girl.
I'm gonna just
No,
keep it
I
up
see
with
why
y'all.
you missed us. I see.
This was yesterday. This was my birthday, okay?
Oh, your birthday?
Yeah.
Your birthday passed? No, next week Wednesday.
Next week, Wednesday, March Tuesday.
Okay, good. Let's always around Wednesday. Happy birthday!
My birthday.
Run a farmer's market.
Happy belated. I didn't even text you. I forgot. Oh my
Listen, it's fine. Y'all not tabling this year?
I was like, it's too much.
Yeah, it's like, you know. Let me
So
get
we're
back.
just gonna be walking around.
Did y'all sign up for workshops?
Everything got sold out. So we don't even know what we're gonna do.
How's it going?
haven't seen it since the party.
I don't know what we're gonna do.
I told you we're gonna see each other. But yeah, it is still kind of chaotic.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Hello, it's nice to meet you. I'm Nina.
Please tell us what you do, what's your name?
I am Nina Brown, and I am the community field manager here at Brooklyn Botanic Garden. And I am so happy that Green Gorillas is here for this breakout session.
Thank you for having us.
Nina is
my pleasure.
amazing.
Hey.
Hi, and I'm Janice. I'm one of the Brooklyn Urban Gardener volunteers. It's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you guys so much.
Today's workshop will be focused on the budget cuts and how the New York City's budget cuts will impact community gardeners and the need for community gardeners to start advocating now in order to alleviate that burden that's about to come. So I only have about 45 minutes. I'll try my best to do my presentation in 30 so that we have room for discussion. There's a sign-in clipboard that's going around. If you could put your contact information there, so if you need me to follow up in the future for anything, definitely let me know. Put your info there. So I'm with Green Gorillas. Green Gorillas is a nonprofit organization. We have been around for 51 years. Green Gorillas is really the trendsetter for what urban agriculture is in New York City. We work with youth interns, community gardeners. We provide resources to community gardeners. But a pivotal moment in our organization advocacy is mobilizing community gardeners to save public land space to turn them into community gardens. So back in the 1970s, Liz Christie, who was one of our founders, went around and started throwing seed bombs across New York City empty lots. And that's how Green Gorillas started. So our work really centers around youth empowerment. So we employ about 30 youth interns each year around New York City, and they help support community gardeners. We also provide resources to community gardeners. So community gardeners need their beds to be replaced, repaired, new infrastructure. We will raise funds to provide those resources to community gardeners. In 2021, we launched the Council of Gardeners. I'm going to dive a little bit more into what the Council of Gardeners is, but basically it's a coalition group where we are mobilizing community gardeners and educating community gardeners on advocacy because that's needed. And also, we provide a lot of seeds and plants to community gardeners through our Seeds in the City. One of the projects that we've been working on is Sunflower Gardening Day. So we go around and we distribute sunflower seeds to each borough, and they're able to like grow different varieties of sunflower. All right, so why are we here? I'm gonna put this in simple terms for you. Each year, the mayor releases something that's called a preliminary budget. And that's basically the plan that the mayor has for the city. And he's telling the public what he intends to do and how he's going to be doing that. So this year, the mayor released his preliminary plan in January. And we saw a lot of red flags in that proposal. So the mayor, in last November, he started implementing a 15% budget cut across all city agencies. The only few city agencies that were exempt from that was Department of Sanitation, but we saw compost got cut, but the actual Department of Sanitation did not get cut. Public Safety, so the police department did not get cut. I forgot, there's one other agency that I can't remember that didn't get cut, but a lot of food benefits and access programs did not get cut as well. However, we find DOE got cut. So recently, the mayor cut DOE by $6 million, and that impacted a lot of school lunches. Green Thumb got cut. We saw Green Thumb budget slashed by more than 50% because of that 15% budget cut, and also Parks budget. A lot of other agencies lost funding as well. So this year, the mayor retracted his 15% budget cut and made it 10%. So that 5 additional percent that would have came in April is no longer happening. So he did a 10% budget cut. However, that 10% caused a lot of impacts on Parks Department. So Parks and Recreation, that's where Green Thumb and a lot of community gardens are getting their support from. So Parks lost 600 staff person, and their budget was cut by a lot of millions of dollars. I don't have the exact number. I think it was 28 million, and they lost 600 staff. So if you're seeing a lot of parks have a lot of garbage, a lot of, I don't know, like drug paraphernalias, anything that's like, oh, that never used to be there. The reason because there's Parks doesn't have a lot of staff to help maintain our public spaces. So you have the Play Fair Coalition. They're advocating for the mayor to fund Parks Department by 1% of the city's budget. So the city budget is about $100 billion each year, and they're just asking for 1% of that. The mayor did make a promise saying that once he gets into office, he's going to fund Parks and Recreation 1% of the city's budget, but we're not seeing that happen. And a lot of Green Thumb funding comes from Parks and Recs. So if Park and Rec is not getting funded, then community gardens are not getting funded through Green Thumb. And a lot of the programs that Green Thumb have been doing, a lot of the infrastructure that they've been implementing and building in community gardens are not going to happen this year. So here's a beautiful diagram that I put together. I'm going to try my best to process it for you. So this is the budget, the budget that the mayor projected for Green Thumb for this year. So the way how the city works is that the city's budget cycle does not operate on a typical calendar year. So it doesn't go from January to December. Correct. It goes from July 1st to June 30th of the following year. Mm-hmm. So in FY24, we're still in FY24, which started last July. Green Thumb was funded $2.6 million, and I broke it down for you so you could see where those funds are coming from. So staff salary is 1.4, programs and supplies is 1 million, and then maintenance and repairs is 200,000. Now the mayor's preliminary budget, his plan for the city that he released in January, he's projected to fund Green Thumb by $1.2 million. That's a huge difference compared to what Green Thumb received the year before. So right now, salaries is at 1.1 million. So Green Thumb lost 2 full-time staff positions. That is the position that coordinates the youth program, the YLC, which is the Youth Leadership Council. That is non-existent anymore. And also another full-time position, like I forgot the name for that title, so I'm not gonna give wrong information, but it's 2 full-time positions. Also, they no longer will be able to receive overtime. So that's also built into salaries as well. Typically, they'll have about 50 to 60K in overtime, but the mayor is projecting that the agency will not receive overtime. Program supplies. So all the materials that Green Thumb provides to community gardeners. If you're a Green Thumb gardener, you might have received plants, seeds, all these other tools for your garden. You no longer will be able to receive that because the mayor is saying that I'm gonna wipe out close to $1 million from program supplies, which only gives Green Thumb about $60,000 to work with for over 500 community gardeners. So do the math. Let me know how much your garden will get from that. For maintenance and repairs, typically this goes towards the vehicles that Green Thumb would have to service in order to make those deliveries to community gardens, like compost, soil, lumber, anything that you may request of them. The mayor is projecting that Green Thumb gets 0 for maintenance and repairs. So if a truck broke down, the agency will most likely have to seek outside funding to be able to support their maintenance and repairs. Now, this might sound alarming. This might look scary, but this is just a preliminary budget. And this means this is just a proposal that the mayor is making, right? This is not the final budget. The final budget is called the executive budget. That's the budget that goes into effect. This is just the mayor's plan. In order for this budget to go into effect, the city council members have to approve it. Right now, they're in negotiation. So the reason why we're here is to share with you that even if you're not a Green Thumb garden, this just to show that the city really doesn't care about urban ag. And community gardeners need to step up right now in order for them to learn about your experiences, to learn about the challenges that you're facing, the successes that you're bringing to your communities, and to be able to advocate for yourself on that. Okay, so something that I want to share with y'all for Green Guerrillas, I mentioned the Council of Gardeners, and it's really imperative for community gardeners to come together. I've held 2 Council of Gardeners meetings in February. My 3rd will be in a couple of weeks, and we've had about 25 community gardeners sign up. Only 5 showed up on a Zoom call, right? And those meetings were for gardeners to show up and voice their concerns, how they want their electeds to support them, and what support they need so that we could all come together and advocate on each other's behalf. I'm also a community gardener, so I'm very passionate about this. And when I came to America, community gardens really made me feel like America is my home again. So I'm really passionate when I speak about community gardens. So it's really imperative for community gardens to come together. A lot of community gardeners on the call were saying that there's not enough of us here. We need more of us. And as much outreach that we do, there's only so much that we could convince or encourage folks to show up in these spaces. But politics controls everything that we do. If you're not involved in policy, it's going to be hard for you to be able to fix those challenges that you're having, right? Our elected won't be able to fund us or give us more money or do more for us if we're not speaking to them. And that's a form of advocating, and that's a form of policy. So, anyway, the Council of Gardeners is created so that we're able to learn from each other. A lot of community gardeners don't know how to become a 501c3. You have community gardens that are 501c3, and they're literally on Zoom just talking to each other like, this is what you should do. I'm gonna send you the information. Let's meet, let's change, let's talk about it. Let me guide you through it. Let's reach out to this agency and ask them what they think, right? So it's a place for community gardeners to network and to build support and also resiliency. All right, so where are we going? So technically, I already spoke to you about the Council of Gardeners. The council gardeners are for all community gardens, not necessarily for community gardens in Brooklyn or the Bronx. It's for New York City as a whole. So we welcome everyone to be a part of those conversations. We're also trying to make sure that the council is providing gardeners with what they need. You need resources, we're gonna try to get it. We're gonna advocate for it. I'm gonna teach you how to do that. You need funding, I'm gonna teach you how to do that, and we're gonna teach you how to advocate for it. So what we've done so far, the council of gardeners started in 2021. We did open letters to parks. So during that time, the head of Green Thumb was stepping down. So the ED, Sarah, she started an open letter asking community gardeners, what do you need from parks? How can parks be better? How can parks be more representative? And community gardeners helped to inform that. And then we had about 289 community gardeners sign on to that letter. We sent that letter to the Commissioner of Parks, Susan Donahue. We also sent that letter to Green Thumb themselves. Susan Donahue saw that letter and immediately requested a demand for Green Thumb to have a conversation with us. So there's a lot of voice in numbers, and we need to keep that momentum going because of that letter, Green Thumb now has a 10-year licensing agreement with community gardeners. So 4 years is completely wiped out. So now it's a 10-year licensing agreement. And that's because y'all, if y'all sign that letter, advocated for that. We also do a lot of workshop and resource sharing. This past weekend, I did an advocacy 2-day training workshop with youth interns and community gardeners so that they could build on their civic engagement skills, and it was really amazing. We are going to continue that this year, and we love for more community gardeners to be a part of it. And now, in 2024, we are building a coalition. So we want community gardeners to come together and work together. 1, you're going to be learning in the space. 2, you're going to be activating and finding new skills that you probably didn't know you have and exercising those skills. And 3, you're going to be like building relationships with your elected officials. So we definitely focus on problem solving, sharing our wisdom, and also opening discussions. A lot of great conversations have been coming up so far. Like gardeners are really thinking about how they could all have a standard, what's it called? It's like a vetting process for community gardens because they're facing turnover. So they will have newcomers come, and some gardeners are like, we're going to wait a year before you become an actual member. Other gardeners are just join because we need the help. So if you show interest, we're going to give you beds and you can start growing. However, what they're finding is that a lot of new garden members, they're not staying, or they will just come, plant, and they will never return. So they're trying to figure out how can they have a vetting process that's more streamlined and be more supportive. So not just one garden is doing their own thing and another garden is doing their other thing. So that's something that we're going to be working on in the group. Our steering committee members, these are folks that we selected, Green Guerrillas and community gardeners that we've worked with closely and been really involved in the work that they do. And they all represent the city, except for Staten Island. We're working on that. But these are some of our steering committee members that we have. Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens, and Bronx. And this is a paid position. So community gardeners who serve as committee chairs, they're paid for their time for being involved in this effort. And they also help to steer the vision and the mobilization of the group. So they're really great. And yeah, one of the things that we've been hearing from community gardeners is how do they get paid for their time? In our Green Guerrillas, we try to pay community gardeners for every single time that we ask them for. So it's really great to be able to have folks, community gardeners, to help lead the work that we're doing. So the 2 meetings that we had in February, we really try to identify like our concerns, how elected officials could help support us, and also the resources that community gardeners need so that we could bring that back to electeds that we're working with. And so the challenges that came from this are here. Challenges are like stewardship, how to continue folks into the garden, how to maintain open hours because what Green Thumb is requiring is ridiculous, and not a lot of gardens can do that anyways. And how to attract new community gardeners, and also how does the declining of Green Thumb's programs is going to be impacting their infrastructure, etc. And support that they identify that they need is more youth internships with schools. They also want to figure out how can community gardeners like foster coalition within their neighborhoods so that they could be more connected. And can the city pay for a full-time community gardener on site, like a farmer that is skilled that could help maintain the space? And the resources, as usual, is like soil, compost, trash issues like illegal dumping, and infestation of rodents in some community gardens. And the most important thing is financial support. How can community gardeners get paid for what they do? And also, how can they gain the finances to do it? Okay, so I'm talking all about the issues, what we're trying to do, what we're finding, but going back to Green Thumb and the parks budget and the impact on that for community gardens. New York City's gonna have a budget hearing process that's coming up on March 21st, and that's gonna be Parks and Rec hearing, and folks will have the opportunity to show up in person and testify, or to submit a PDF testimony on your concerns and what you want the city to do. So this happens every year, and this is where the public gets to voice their concern. The chair of the Parks and Rec department is this person right here, Krishnan. He does not have one single community garden in his district, right? At all. He's in Queens. Yep. So I know no one here is in his district. But if you're in any of these council members' districts, these are his co-chairs that are within the Parks and Recs committee. You should be meeting with them. If you don't want to testify, you can email their office, tell them that you want them to support whatever is of concerns to you, because they could bring that back to their committee meetings and you're hearing on the view. And if you don't know what to say to them, it's as simple as like, hey, we have a community garden, we're experiencing these challenges, what can you do to help us? And they will probably request a meeting with you, most likely, because you're their constituent, and have a conversation to learn more. But this guy here, y'all should get to know him. He's really sweet, he's very personable, but he doesn't have a community garden in his district, and there's a lot of education that's needed there. So, talking about testimony and being able to testify, I also have a lot of packets here that you could take home, train yourself on it. It's very straightforward, and I put like examples in the packets as well. An oral testimony is in person at City Hall, and it's about 2 to 3 minutes long, and it's super short and sweet and direct. And then you have a written testimony. You could submit it online or via email, and you have no page limit on it. So if you want to write a 50-page dissertation, you can. And they're required to read it. So no page limit, but you have to submit it within 3 days of that hearing. So the hearing is on the 21st, you have until the 24th to submit it. And like I said, all of the testimonies that you provide have to be considered by the city council, especially the chair of that department, of that committee. All right. So if you want to testify, this is the website. This is what it looks like. I put the link here, so if you leave your contact information or if you want to take a screenshot later on, I'll be able to like go back and send it to y'all. But this is the website that you visit. It will look like this, and it will give you a bunch of script, and at the bottom, you're gonna see this form. So this form is the form that you will use to register for a testimony. If you're going to go in person, you put in person. If you want to do virtual or submit a testimony, you can make that selection as well. You fill out your name, your contact number. You select the hearing that you want to go to. You filled out like the subject of your testimony if you want it to be for community gardens or whatever. I would say put community gardens because if there's other gardeners showing up, they will put you on a panel together. A panel is how they call you up for you to testify. And then if you're a part of an organization or not, you could put that information down here. So this is how I would fill out the form online whenever I'm testifying at City Hall. Now, you might do this online. You're not gonna get a confirmation email to say, "Yay, congrats! You submitted your testimony, or you've registered." When you show up in person, you're gonna have to do this again. I don't know why. It's redundant, but that's how it is. Like, there's also like a virtual component to it, but typically, if you're gonna be testifying virtually, they will call you last. And sometimes you could go like 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Depending on how many people they have to testify. If you're in person, they will do all the in-person testimony first. But something that I want to share, going back to this slide, is that during this time, you could stream it online as well. You could sign up online through that website. You could stream the testimony online. But during this time, you get to hear the City Council grill Parks and Recreation. So they're going to ask them certain questions. You get to learn what they're saying. You get to see, like, do they mention community gardens at all? You know? And then you could, like, decide to make your testimony on the spot and submit it based on what they're saying. But, yeah. So this is what the form looks like. And then below this, they're going to ask you to attach your testimony if you want to submit a testimony as well. So, I'm gonna yes.
How long does the public hearing usually last when it starts at 3?
A long time.
Yeah.
So like you could pull up after work, for example.
Yeah. Because when you show up, you still have to check in.
Yeah.
And then the sergeant of arms is gonna like pass it off to the council. So you never know which order you'll go. You never know when they will call you up. And it could be forever. Like, I went there one day at 9 a.m. and I left at 9 p.m. I even had time to go get lunch. I was like working away on my computer. It's a lot. Yeah. Yes and yes.
Are the committee members required to stay the whole time and
No.
listen to every single testimony?
No, you don't have to.
No, only the committee chair, not the committee members. Do you mind taking one and like passing it out? Only the committee members, not the committee chairs, because they have stuff too. Only the committee chairs require to stay the whole time. But you might see like that person take a break and come back. But yeah, sometimes it could be
Anybody else need?
Testimony template if you want to write one or to verbally speak to it. Typically, you want to start off with your introduction, introducing yourself. You want to thank the speaker, the committee chair for allowing you to speak today. And then you want to state why you're here and what you're asking for. You could even state why you're here in specific bullet points. But remember, you have 3 minutes, so you don't want to write 3 pages worth of things. You want to keep your testimony to at least a page and a little bit. Not 2 pages, because you only have 2 to 3 minutes to speak. You want to make sure that your policy acts are really clear. If you don't have a policy act, if you want to share your experience and say that community gardeners need more support, what does that mean by more support? List those things out, right? And then you want to repeat in your closing, like, thank you for inviting me here, etc., and that's about it. So this template helps you to break it down a little bit further. I put my personal testimony there that I use. Typically, I use the same thing every year because nothing really changes. If I'm one person, like, policy takes time. You will see some instances where things happen like this, but if I'm one person advocating on behalf of community gardeners, then it's not going to move the needle that much, right? That's why we need more folks to show up and be engaged. Any questions before I move on? If you're not too sure what to testify on, these are some city council speaker initiatives that I would recommend y'all uplift in. And once again, I could send this out later on. But yes, you have Park Equity Initiative. This basically provides more maintenance and beautification for parks and community gardens. You have a Greener New York City, which really invests in community education, advocacy, and youth internship programs. And then you have Get the Stuff Clean initiative that the mayor came out with during his first year. And that's basically to help with illegal dumping that's taking place.
Yeah.
So if you're not too sure what to ask for, these are some of the initiatives that you could speak to. Because these initiatives are funded by the city council speaker's office, a lot of times they have a lot more leeway to provide more funding for these things to happen, and for nonprofit organizations like Green Gorillas to help community gardeners, right? So I'm gonna send this out later as well with more clear detail as to what it is. But currently, for the council, we're going to be working on the Parks Equity Initiative. A lot of nonprofit organizations like Green Gorillas, because we work with community gardeners and we have a youth internship program, we get city council funding in order to aid and support community gardeners. So this year we received funding from 5 different city council members, and those funds are literally going back to community gardeners. We're reaching out to community gardeners asking them, what do you need? We have money from your council. Tell us what you need. We're going to buy it for you, and we're going to deliver it to you. We cannot give the money directly to community gardeners because of how the city operates. We have to document every single penny, and these funds are reimbursable. So meaning we have to spend the money first before we get it back. So if we miss a receipt or lose a receipt, we're not getting that money back. So what we do is ask community gardeners what you need, give us the link, we'll order it for you, and we'll deliver it to you. So these are great programs to amplify and to uplift. Like I said, in our next council gardener meetings, I'm going to be going into this more because we're thinking of creating like a pilot program for community gardeners where the city could give Green Gorillas, let's say like $30,000, and then we work with a selected amount of community gardens to provide funding to their gardens. Once again, we can't give the garden the money directly, but we'll be like a fiscal sponsor. Hey, we got $10,000 for your garden. What do you need? We order it for you and you get it. So we're trying to figure out how to get some money here for community gardeners. All right, so ways to influence your city council members, especially when it comes to funding and to support community gardeners. You want to meet with your elected official. So you need to meet with your elected official. You need to tell them what you need so that they could give it to you. You also want to encourage them to increase funding in some of the areas that I highlighted in the previous slide. If you're super brave and empowered, provide testimony as much as possible. Policy takes time, and we have about two opportunities in the year to provide testimony. So you need to get your voice out there as much as possible. And sometimes if you feel like Parks Department is not doing enough for community gardeners, you could ask for an oversight hearing. And an oversight hearing is where a city council member literally grill the department and ask them a lot of questions. And you could provide the questions that the city council person can ask the department. Every little issue that we have, there's a solution, and we should advocate for that solution. But you were gonna say something.
No, I'm saying it. Thank you.
And thank y'all so much for being with us here. You can scan this QR code for our monthly newsletter. Thank y'all so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Hey y'all, welcome back.
Hello.
We are wrapping up our day for today at Making Brooklyn Bloom. How you feeling?
Exhausted, not gonna lie.
Exhausted from what?
Girl, you saw me butt my head twice.
Exhausted from what?
Girl, I don't know.
You need to learn how to drink coffee or drink tea with
If I
caffeine.
do drink coffee, I'm never gonna sleep.
Drink something with caffeine in it at least, because I drink my coffee. I feel alive. I'm not even tired.
Yeah, because you drink a whole coffee straight black.
Okay, but still. Anyways, y'all.
She always want to fight with me.
Today, we led a workshop. We have our youth here, and we are wrapping up because, you know, you can't keep them for too long. They get super antsy. However, y'all saw that at Little Workshop, Joseph was recording.
I feel very more informative. A lot of more information that I need to know about gardenings and toolbox and stuff like that. So I'm still learning. I'm still new to this.
It's not gardens and toolbox. It's about gardens and advocacy.
That too.
There's nothing about toolbox.
It's mostly about gardening and learn how to teach others that about it that who don't know, like me.
Teach others about what?
Garden.
No.
And activism. Will you say activity? Say it again.
Advocacy.
Advocacy. My bad.
So, yeah, I've been doing a lot of policy education with community gardeners so that they could become more aware of the issues that's going on in New York City and the need for them to advocate for themselves. Anyways, y'all, so we're gonna wrap up our day. Always remember to like,
share,
and subscribe to My Little Plot, and we'll see you.
That button.
And we'll see you later on. Bye, y'all.
Be blessed.